Hi, my name is Chris, and this is Peter. I'm the founder of Happy Here, an online and in-person mental wellbeing support community where we break down the barriers between people of all genders, sexual orientation and backgrounds. What we do is help support and empower people to build inclusive friendships and a sense of belonging and community. Our primary aim is to boost mental and emotional well-being by improving access to holistic support through creative expression and social prescribing, while fostering acceptance, happiness and empathy to support each other's well-being in a way that's more approachable, meaningful and effective. What everybody needs is different. Some people seek out traditional therapy, other people prefer holistic approaches, and sometimes what we need is a blend of both. Today, I'd like to explain the story behind why I started Happy Here, exactly what it is we do, and the team's plan for the future. One of the things that I was shocked by was the amount of feedback I got in community responses about the lack of understanding concerning what others go through, which could be someone struggling with disability access, support for single mothers and fathers, or a place for LGBT plus community to feel accepted and safe. My experience with the LGBT plus community is that our meeting places are mostly centred around bars and clubs, which unfortunately are structured around alcohol, drugs, sex and fly-by-night friendships. A lot of mental health problems stem from addictions and an inconsistency in continued mental, emotional and social support. Most of the time, the response I get concerning LGBT people not feeling a part of the community and having nowhere to go is, "Oh, I didn't know that." And the replies to homophobic and transphobic attacks is, "Really? Is that still that bad?" Which is really hard to hear. After college, my best friend died in a tragic accident, which started a series of traumatic events I experienced, including the passing of my father towards the end of my 20s and other subsequent losses of friends and family. I first moved to LA when I was 26 years old after getting my first production deal, and in LA I found a very tight group of friends. Along with dealing with the repercussions of loss in the UK and other subsequent losses of friends and a long-term relationship, it was impossible for me to process it all, so I didn't, in many ways. I took it all very hard and I started to wonder why so many people would leave me, which set me on a path of self-destructive behaviour. My career became more about ego and I realised I wasn't built for that type of living. I wanted to do music from a position of service and to keep it as a passion, something I enjoyed more than anything in the world. But I wasn't measuring up to others' view of success because I was bringing in the more spiritual access of my life into my work and music. The best decision for me at the time was to get some clarity and to reset, to return home to the UK to face my past trauma and get clear of my demons. After moving back from LA, where I'd lived for almost 10 years, I couldn't find an agency, organisation or community to turn to for mental well-being and LGBT support that fit me, a place where I felt comfortable being vulnerable enough to share what I was going through and to deal with the past trauma I had not processed yet. As a teen, being bullied at school, dealing with figuring out who I was and coming to terms with that in a place I didn't feel safe to do so, made me realise I wanted to create something I wished I had access to when I was growing up, and as well as today. I wanted a sense of belonging with people I could trust. I admit I was a little bit jealous because I felt like everybody else had a community they fit into, which gave me a sense of loss, abandonment, like I was an alien on Earth, a sense of shock really. When you live in a world where being told who you love is a sin, it's hard not to carry around shame, and with that, guilt. Being a part of the LGBT plus community, you can experience lots of things, including a second adolescence, one that is yours and something you weren't given the chance to have at school. Writing love letters to someone instead of hiding them in your room. not being taught about gay sex education, not learning about queer history and where your previous community came from and how it developed and thrived. There are an infinite number of ways to live your life, but we're really only taught one particular way to live, and that's through a system of choices pre-made for you. What Happy Here is about is breaking up that template to help you discover and understand the power of being who you truly are and being okay with that choice and knowing that you can live the way you want. My life experiences are one of the primary motivations that inspired me to start Happy Here and to try to bridge the gap between people who don't know where to turn for support and providing signposts to resources, bringing a consistency between different stages of what people need and levels of support, and building inclusive friendships with the knowledge to understand how someone is different to you. I just want to point out that the Happy Here team are not medical professionals, although some of us have formal training and qualifications, from transgender awareness to understanding autism behaviour to nursing. What the team does is listen and use their personal experience and knowledge and training to socially prescribe, and we do that by finding out your capability that might have been a passion you stopped because of a traumatic event, then figure out an opportunity for you and to help motivate you. At Happy Here we do a variety of things. At the moment we're test driving some sessions like our creative expression sessions that fuse music and art therapy with storytelling to give people a safe space to be vulnerable, to share what they're going through and to work through their challenges and issues, to gain closure with someone or something. Our walk and talk events are designed to simply give you a regular space to meet others and understand the different dynamics of the community you live in and what truly builds the foundations of society, reducing social isolation and improving connection, therefore building a better foundation for you and the community you live in. We are currently building educational content that will be available online, including where to find mental health resources, to learning about and addressing gender issues. We will also provide a weekly pop-up group that will meet here in these lovely community gardens where we can make our own tea, share about alternative medicines and talk about spiritual matters that are often ignored by Western medicine. Our Zoom group chats are perfect for ongoing support and sharing. The team's plan and our plan for the future is to launch our first Happy Bus, a remote service to bring mental health support to our community and the community where it's based, where people need it the most, which is essentially a remote point of access for people to come together. We want to create an opportunity for people to seek out others and understand one another and bring the community together, with the ultimate goal of connecting people and fostering supportive, inclusive friendships. This is regardless of whether you have received a formal mental health diagnosis, because mental well-being is important for everybody. Using creative expression as a vehicle for relaxing and allowing yourself to look inward is important in order to be vulnerable with yourself or open to others, if that's what you seek. That's my dog sneezing. For me, music is my chosen avenue. For me, music is my chosen avenue. I really love my singing bowls and creating melodies on my guitar. It's what helps me tune into myself and allows myself to be more vulnerable with my thoughts, as well as gives me a sense of mindfulness. Happy Here helps people to identify what makes them happier. For example, if a person is dealing with depression and we've been working with them to identify what makes them happier during a dark period, they'll have access to the Happy Here community to support them. We'll support them in using the tools they've been given and taught, whether that's mindfulness, CBT activities or creative expression as an emotional outlet. Our intention is for people to express their innate power that allows them to be vulnerable in the moment, which can spark their inherent creativity. Happy Here will also act as a vital resource for guiding people to other resources and services they may need. such as mental health professionals, citizens' advice, GPs, police, schools, universities and local businesses. We will help educate people about mental health issues so they can both be more empathetic and support other people more appropriately, as well as foster self-awareness. We'll provide them with the tools they need to support themselves and others. It's really important to follow your heart, but also be supported in a community that allows you to do that. In a world where money creates a class divide, people forget about their true passion. So it's important to remember that true joy, enrichment and fulfillment comes from the heart. Happy Here's ethos is for each of us to lead with your heart.